If you could go back and tell that 28-year-old version of yourself something about relationships or about marriage, what would you tell that 28-year-old version?
It's not just the wedding, right? A lot of people, when they say I want to get married, I'm looking to settle down, are always thinking of just the wedding. Like it's in the movies, it's wedding, end of movie, happily ever after. And but what marriage is definitely companionship. There is someone with you to witness your everydays, every little thing that happens in your day. It shouldn't go unnoticed. Someone should witness it. It can be something as silly as, what did you eat for lunch? I sprained my toe today.
You're a very calm guy, dude. I'm someone who's diagnosed with ADHD, so I have intrusive thoughts.
Oh, really?
Sometimes when I'm doing a podcast with people, I visualize a train coming and running both of us over and all. So that's the curse of mine, which is why all these random questions are being thrown at you.
Wow, okay. But I mean, I think experienced that once or twice. It's like,
What?
you're sitting around, you randomly, like, I think when I was promoting, like, yesterday, I told this to Adarsh, she was sitting next to me. What would it be like if I just, like, keeled over and collapsed? Like, now. Or suddenly, like, I threw up or something. Wouldn't that be really weird? Okay, so after the thing, so I'm looking at Adarsh, like, Adarsh, do you get these kind of thoughts? He's like, no, bro, that's all you.
It's Dulquer Salmaan on TRS. I'm not going to make this intro very long because I know a lot of you are his fans and y'all are just watching TRS to know more about his mind. But as with any of our film-oriented episodes, we've completely unlocked both his mind and his heart. We've also gotten to his soul. So you're going to enjoy this conversation. I encourage you to make as many reels and shorts as is possible. Feel free to use the content. All I'll say is that this was a very friendly, easygoing conversation between two media bros. Enjoy yourselves. It's Dulquer Salmaan on TRS. DQ, brother. Dulquer Salmaan, bhai.
Hi, Ranveer.
How are you, bro?
I'm very well.
Such a calm, classy vibe you have, dude.
Thank you. Yeah.
Burning question for you, man.
Sure.
How do you have such beautiful hair?
I'm just glad it's still there.
Dude, it's gorgeous. That's the first thing I noticed about you when I saw you ever, like for the first time in life.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy has damn
And I
nice
still
hair.
haven't done a hair commercial. None of those products yet. I'm like, I should be doing this.
A lot of guys our age are struggling with a lot of image related
I know
issues.
my classmates,
Yeah.
and they all look at me and they're like, "You have such good hair." It's like they're like willing it to go away or something.
Yeah, I mean, there is a concept called nazar that probably really exists, man.
Yeah, I'm sure it's there. As in, definitely when we definitely all believe in it when everything is going right. There's a little fear of when is that one thing going to go wrong. Yeah, I think that's there. It's a cultural thing, probably.
Even a guy as positive as you thinks about what could go wrong.
I'm an overthinker, big time.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I believe in energies in the sense I always try to stay positive. I learned quite early in life to cut off negative people. I think the first time I did that with a friend, it was like one big eye-opening moment for me. I was like, I'm fine. Like I can make more friends. He can make more friends. Maybe we just don't connect. So all of these like little learnings, as you like navigate through life.
We've had some crazy actors on the show. And like I think the best ones, I can't remember who said this on the show. Who was it who had said that you need to travel the world to actually be a good actor? You need to have life experiences heavily. Pankaj Tripathi said this on the show.
Yeah.
And there was a very different energy about him.
Mhm.
And I don't know, I see somewhat of a younger parallel in you, dude.
Oh, really?
Yeah, very
Well,
like observant.
I love him. Like I'm such a fan of him, and he has a very calming energy.
So do you.
Like even on screen, I'm saying.
Yeah. Do
Yeah.
you? So do you.
Maybe. I mean, I don't really look at myself in third person.
I'm
Maybe.
telling you.
Thank you.
One of my research bits that came out is, brother, massive female fan following. Massive female fan following in Kerala. Girls love DQ.
No, I think it's also when you start out, you kind of, that romantic genre is the space where most of us actors find our footing. And then as you get older, then you become more action or whatever. I feel like most actors have this journey.
Why?
I don't know. I think at a certain age, those stories just come to you. You are the lover boy. You're like, oh, I had a lot of this finding myself films, a good bunch of them. Then it switched to romance. I guess that maybe resonated with people or connected. And that tag is stuck, and I'm like, now I just turned 40, and I'm like, this next decade I can't be a romantic hero. So I'm like, I need to break out of that. So right now I'm sort of in that transition phase where I'm switching over to different genres.
Nice.
Yeah,
How are you looking the way you do at 40?
I still have grays.
Ari, that it adds to it.
So day one, they did mascara, and whenever I'm like in interviews, I'm always like playing with it. And at the end of it, my hands are black. I'm like, just forget it, leave it. It's okay. Just some grays, but I'm enjoying it. I think I'd rather be here than in that sort of not knowing in my 20s as to what or where I'll end up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing which has been a recent learning for me, and it's such a cliched learning in life, but I had to learn it again.
Yeah.
Someone I was dating was an amazing person, great relationship, but I just felt like she was very sad on the inside because of her own past. But she would really like cling on to that sadness. So music choices were sad, conversations were sad, everything was about pain and sadness.
Right.
And I'm a normal, happy dude. But I find myself thinking about my own traumas a lot more.
Was it bringing you down?
Unknowingly, yeah.
Yeah, I think that happened.
And then later on, after we broke up, I met my old friends. I started seeing other people, and I realized the world is a much happier place than my last few months were.
Yeah.
And that made me understand that happiness is one of those things where you get to set the ceiling.
Yeah.
So in every moment, you get to decide that, no, I want to be even happier, and start finding joy in like small things.
Right.
Start finding joy in like large things. Really celebrate happiness. And when you do that on a regular basis, you actually become happier.
Yeah, I agree.
The reason I'm saying this is because you're a very happy guy. I feel that vibe a lot from you.
Thank you. I think it's important. Right? You should enjoy life. I think I love what I do. I think the only major conflict I'm going through now is being away from home. I have a daughter who's 6, and that's been magical. And you don't want to miss it. It's your need. It's not their need as much as your need to like be there for the big moments and see all of that, So I'm very jealous of the other dads at school who are able to go pick them up every day and who are constantly present. I mean, I'm on FaceTime and all of this stuff, but like you want to be there, you want to be tactile. That's the only conflict.
But your daughter gets to say, my dada sexiest. And then
Most desirable.
none of the other kids can compete.
Yeah, I think she does find a lot of excitement when I get recognized or people come for photos and stuff. There's a little delight in her face.
How old is she?
She's 6.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How have the 6 years of her life changed your life?
Fully. I think it's something I read somewhere. When a child is born, so are the parents, right? Like you also become a father for the first time. You're born as a father or born as a mother in that moment. So it is life changing. It is. And till then you think what love is, what you feel for your mother, what you feel for your father, or your wife, or your friends. But trust me, there is nothing like when you have a child. As in the love you feel for that child it's like it'll be like that. You've never had that feeling in your life. And I'm like, okay, this is what love is.
More than wife.
More than anything. Like, I mean, I'm sure she feels the same way. Like what you feel for your baby is like. And this is why our parents have been the way they are with us, in worrying all the time, and also always forgiving. No matter what, you can do the worst thing, and your parents will find a way to forgive you because you're a part of them.
What should I know about my 30s? Because a lot of my friends, it's either everyone's afraid about like all these aging,
Right.
weight gain, hair loss, or people are afraid about life and fatherhood. Or there's not too many people afraid about career, fortunately, in my circles. But
See, usually I feel like that is the big concern.
Fatherhood.
No, like career and money and all that. Like I feel like once you can remove that factor out of your life, so many of these other issues are very essentially first world issues, right? Like there's, especially in India, you look around you and all of these people probably don't enjoy all of these other things because money is such a big factor, or a job is such a big factor, or like they're in a rut, constantly doing the same thing and unhappy about that. And that unhappiness, then spills over into your family or how you're with your kids or your wife or whatever. So I'm like, if you guys have this stuff sorted, the rest is not something to worry about. I mean, if you lose hair, you can get a transplant. If you gain weight, you can train or diet,
love the honesty.
Yeah, I know it's true. I mean, I feel like that these are things I don't think earlier generations worried about these things.
Image?
No, they weren't worried about those things, like how I look, if I'm fat, if I'm losing hair, or they had such. I think India wasn't such a big economy at that time. So much of this was making ends meet or whatever, ambition of building your house, getting your daughter married. These were the big worries that they had, and I feel like our generation doesn't really have that. We have so many more avenues to make a living or to earn, and also. We earn so much more comparatively. Like maybe today what I'm being, because the business has changed so much, what I'm being paid at my age as an actor vis-a-vis what maybe my father was making at that time in India is worlds apart.
I say this with a lot of respect because I've grown up in a cosmopolitan city.
Right.
Okay, bro. So it's not coming from a wrong place.
Yeah.
But what I will say is I've always noticed that all my friends from the 5 southern states, all
Right.
can pick up languages like very easily.
But I think it's an Indian thing. I think the average Indian knows 2-3 languages.
2-3 still. You guys know like 7-8 and all, dude.
Yeah, we'll know as in typically Malayali will definitely find Tamil easy. And they will have some Bangalore exposure because of college or something. And they will pick up a bit of Kannada. And then Hindi we have either in school or something. So yeah, 3-4 languages, you're right.
You're chill with Hindi like fully?
It was my second language. And then the time I spent in college, all of us Indians from so many different states, if we had to bitch about any foreigners or anything, the common language is Hindi. So we're on the bus, and you want to pass comments.
Well, like, no, sorry. Fine, go on.
So that's easier, right? So then it became the common language. So I think a lot of the times, what we're conscious of in speaking Hindi or any language is you're worried about an accent or you're worried about your diction or all of these things. But when it becomes just a means of communication and you just have to communicate something. Or when I lived in Bombay, and if I had to speak to the auto driver or whoever, I don't care about how I'm sounding, So I think when you keep doing that, you lose that fear, and then it gets better. And then I think your grasp on the language also gets better, because a lot of the times it's you holding back out of fear of judgment or ridicule or something. But as you keep doing it, and then you start to develop a ear for it as to, okay, this is where the accent is coming, or this is where I sound like a non-Hindi speaker. So these are things I keep picking up.
I'm going to say something brutal, dude. Not brutal for you. It's nice for you. It's just a brutal statement in general.
Go for it.
I feel the Hindi film industry needs more dudes like you.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I don't know what to make of it, as in, I also feel like it is a very big industry, this one. Like Hindi is huge in the sense the reach is so much more eyeballs on this. And I think Bombay just being this, it's such a center of everything, like cinema, industry, finance. And so I feel like there's so much happening here all the time. There's so many events. Actors don't just end up going for film events. So I feel like, I do feel like it's very different here. So maybe how they have to navigate this is quite different from maybe how we do it back down south.
Have you avoided all these things like parties, alcohol, all these things because of the inner good boy that you are? You seem like a good boy.
No, I'm social enough. I do my time in Chennai. Like it was always different. Because Chennai was again a cosmopolitan city, coming from Kochi and stuff. So like definitely we had a great social life, and school kids love to like go out all the time. But now I don't get the time as much because I'm never in one place. But I do love meeting new people.
Okay.
It's because there's always something to learn. There's always something. I feel like I'm a sum of all the people I've met.
Possibly it helps you as an actor also.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I'm not constantly observing their mannerisms or their way of speaking. I think I'm always seeking knowledge from people. I think my choice or my knowledge of music or the arts or any of these things have all come from friends of mine, going to their houses, seeing their parents' book collection or their art collection, because every house is different. So I strongly believe that. And I think people I've known have introduced me to different cuisines or got me into food. So even as of now, even I think if I'm doing a new film project and I meet somebody new, there's a gentleman called Sachin, I forget his last name. on Guns and Gulabs. He plays this my sort of sidekick, Ram Prasad ji. And his son is this little MMA champ.
Little MMA.
As in, he's tiny. He's like 12, 13 or something like that.
They have
And
MMA
he's-
for kids?
Yeah, in Delhi apparently. And he's kind of, fighting above his age group and all that. And he's such an unassuming man, this gentleman. And so he's showing me videos and he's like, this kid just started saying this on YouTube or something and he loved it and started practicing on his own at home. I was like, what? What do you mean he just taught himself? He's like, yeah, literally. He just kept practicing and kept getting good. And then finally he found there was a school somewhere and then he asked us to take him there and we took him there and they were already impressed with what he knew and then they were like tweaking his skills. Like, that's such a fascinating story.
Practicing it on himself.
And Sachin sir lives in Bombay. His family's in Delhi and he's working here. And he's only seeing most of this through his phone. And it's so sweet. And I didn't even know that like there's somebody could just pick up MMA from YouTube. But I'm saying this, like, you hear so much from people.
Times are different, man.
Yeah.
You're like out and out a family guy. Like not a family guy, like a family man.
I think my home atmosphere has always been like that, maybe.
Okay.
And now we're at a stage where we all, as in first, when we were younger, we'd go travel as boys. And then we all met our wives and then we all became friends together and then became couples traveling together. And now it's like me and all of my friends have little girls. It's like a massive girl gang. There's like, I think 6 or 7 or more girls in my different friend circles all together. Now they're all friends. And these kids are like, they believe they're cousins, they believe they're siblings. So everybody has one elder sister or younger sister. And
Put all those girls in a cage together and get them to do MMA, dude.
I'm like, we need super strong girls. Come on, yeah. But it's great. It's great.
Just a thought.
Yeah.
Get that Sachin sir's
So-
kid
so-
to,
kid
like,
to come and train them.
Come on, girls. Need more female MMA fights. I'm messing around. I wish love upon your children.
But why not, right? Like, why not? Yeah, it'd be cool. I mean, I like, my sister's always been influenced by me and my dad and stuff. And like, she's into cars or driving and everything because I'm into them. And so it's always cool, I think, when I see them doing things like that.
Tell me about like your whole style vibe, dude. Like one of the most common things that comes up about you when someone Googles your name is one of India's most stylish men. How do you look at it? How and I agree. And style is not just the way you dress or the way you keep your beard. It's all of it put together and the energy,
Right.
and then how you let the energy dictate what the world sees on the outside.
I think I've definitely always had an eye for detail from when I was young. Like, I notice every little thing. I like to see effort in anything. Like, when I walk into a room, I was like, I love the color of the wall. I'm noticing, everything you have on your shelf, and I'm like, it speaks so much about you, and it shows culture and all of this stuff.
Does it say that I'm a up guy?
No. It feels lived in. A lot of the times people don't put anything out, and you don't know. The house doesn't speak about them. And I think from when I was young, like low-angling my father, and he was always stylish and he was always cool and he was always dressed really well. And so I used to want to dress like, so as a freaking toddler, or like when I could speak and walk, I wanted to dress like a grown-up. Like my I think 4 or 5 year old self going to some school fancy dress party, I want to wear a suit with a bow tie and all this stuff. And
You knew the ladies like all this?
it was nothing to do with the ladies. I was just like, I want to dress. I mean, I think I was always like a bit of a dandy. Like, I want to like be well turned out, but dressed like a grown up, not like a kid.
How does a brother become a better dressed man?
No, understand. I mean, I think it's so important for us to understand our bodies. You know what is your strong suit. Like, what is, if you have a certain type of shoulder, if you have a belly or whatever it is, you dress according to that. Let's not highlight the bad sides. You enhance the good parts, and that's the best thing about clothes. Anyone, any body type can be well dressed.
Self-awareness,
Yeah.
experimentation,
Yeah.
and Malayali genetics.
No, but we need to understand a bit about how clothes are cut and how they fit us and fall on us and stuff. I see a lot of people sometimes wearing very expensive, big label stuff, but just not fitting them right.
You mean the vibe is also not right?
Yeah, it's off. You know.
People are trying to say that, listen, you see this brand?
Yeah,
this is
but
how much money I'm worth.
That's fine, but below that, if that shirt is hugging your belly or something, that means you bought the wrong size.
Okay, fair. I've been relatively fit throughout my 20s. Very fit throughout my 20s. Suddenly, you know, I do feel slightly weaker in some situations. And you know, when you're a kid watching football and some footballers turn 30 years old and you're like, ah, now he's old, now he'll go to another club.
Yeah.
We are 30 now, dude. And so you
And
feel...
you know, randomly you start seeing aches and pains.
Yeah.
You're like, this wasn't there before. Why is my knee making this weird sound
Yeah.
when I'm climbing downstairs? That wasn't there before.
And it happens very suddenly because in my head, I'm still 16 years old.
Yeah.
But I'm actually 30. How old are you in your head? Probably like something like that.
Yeah, I'm my late 20s, I think.
Late 20s,
Yeah.
right?
I don't know, this last 10, 12 years of acting and marriage and fatherhood and all this happened like that. So I must be where I was right before I got into movies.
This whole thing about a guy's aging body, I'm seeing it for the first time. My friends also seeing it for the first time. It happens in your late 20s. Suddenly, you start seeing yourself slightly weaker. All that work in the gym doesn't translate to as many results
As easy, yeah.
as it did earlier.
Yeah.
But you don't get away with like binging
earlier
on
we'd be
food.
like, dude, I can get ripped in a week.
Yeah.
So it's fine. I can binge today, or this holiday is fine. I'll get back in 1 week. I'll be back. No.
Yeah, it's a brutal reality for guys, dude. Like you have to learn it very fast. I think it's way worse for women.
Yeah. But,
Like it's much more intense the way
But I mean,
the way
it's-
society is built.
but again, it's not something that to bring you down. I mean, like, embrace it, you know. There's so much joy, like I said, in the security of having found these other things, you know. So we should embrace that also. Like I would not trade this for anything else. Like me being here at 40 is so much of a happier, secure space than in those 20s where I thought I was going to be a complete failure and a disaster in life, you know. So I'm okay with the aches and pains and the grays and stuff.
How's 30s health like? Like
30 itself was good. But maybe the first time I wore a neck brace because I used the wrong pillow and my neck got thrown off. And I was like, this never used to happen. Or the first time I had like a knee injury and I was like, is this like in my 20s if I did the same jump for the stunt, could I have taken it? Is it because I was like 37, 30 when that happened? So yeah, little things I think you start to just become a little more careful about.
but self-confidence, money.
Like
all-
my 20s, like, you know, I wanted to be this daredevil. I wanted to ride motorcycles everywhere and I jumped off a plane, all that stuff. And today I'm just like, you know, I'm like, I can be the best rider. Same thing that my parents would tell me, you can be the best rider, but what about the other guys? What about traffic? You know, you start to think, and then when you have the responsibility of going back home or like, you know, thinking of your family or your kids and stuff, automatically the daredevil bit kind of takes a backseat. You know?
Okay.
So
Fair.
I'm sure like all of our fathers were also like this before we came along,
Fair.
you know, and now they're like the dads and like, you know, worried about how fast we drive and all this. I get that now. I understand where they were then.
But all in all, age 40 is much better than age 30.
For me personally, yes.
And it's not been the case for people you've seen.
No, I don't know. I mean, it's some people, if everything has always been going great in their lives and age is the only thing that makes them upset, aging.
You look great, dude.
No, I'm
there's definitely a lot of fitness.
I mean,
at
you know
play.
what? Like maybe, you know, I restore a lot of old cars and stuff. So I'm like, maybe I'm going into preventive maintenance for the future. Like, keep this head of hair there. You know, what do I do to like, so if I see someone, I'm like, you know, is there something I can do to make sure like it stays? Like, you know, I don't want to add anything. It's fine. I like how it is.
Okay.
But how do I make this last as long as I can?
Fair.
Yeah.
We had Sunil Shetty on the show.
Dude, look at him.
Yeah.
You know?
And I told him straight up, dude, you look even better now than at 40.
Absolutely.
I think you're on the similar path, honestly.
I hope so.
Okay.
I hope so.
What's the secret, man?
I mean, just doing what you love, and I think all of that is maybe just being true, right? True to yourself.
Do you meditate or something? Like,
I actually want to try, you know, because of my overthinking.
it doesn't come through. Like, I've been talking to you for a good half an hour, 45 minutes now. I haven't sensed that energy.
But you leave me alone somewhere or at night, and I will overthink the hell out of anything. Like, I drive my family mad. And they know me. They know how I am. And they're like, stop overthinking. It's fine. Just leave it. I'm like, is this why that didn't work? Should I have done this differently? Or did I say no to a good film? This is the synopsis of the film. What do you think of it? I already said no, but I don't know if I. Now I'm like regretting it. Do you think I should call them back? This drama is never ending.
Okay, I'll tell you my perspective on what you just said, okay? And
Right.
this is based on the fact that I'm a Mumbai boy. You grow up with multiple cultures.
Mhm.
And one common thing you experience in Mumbai when you're growing up here is dissection of cultures.
Right.
So you'll have a Gujarati family talking about Tamil people and Punjabi people and Bengali people. You'll have the Bengalis doing the same thing with
Yeah,
like other
yeah.
communities. You know what the stereotype about Malayalis is?
What?
That y'all are very smart. Like, that's must be good at maths. Must be smart. And then all my Mallu friends also generally, I can always go 10 layers deep in conversation with them. Always.
Right.
Why are Malayalis so smart? Like, where does the stereotype come from?
I mean, I think there's definitely a perception because of our literacy rates. You know, a lot of the times, because we have 100% literacy in our state. So I think education is always something that is almost guaranteed that you have to do. And I think we really flourish. But a lot of the times I've noticed we flourish outside the state. I've noticed that, like, whether it's the Middle East. So if you look at all of the best content writers and editors, they'll be Malayalis. All your publications in India. Or all of the nurses everywhere will be Malayalis. So I don't know, maybe because of the size of the state, you know, it's everyone kind of knows everyone, and like these things, these values are maybe instilled and it just spread. I can't really pinpoint it.
When you're talking in Malayalam with each other, is the conversation just intellectual?
No.
It can be anything.
It can be anything. Oh my God, there's so much of movies and movie dialogue references and all that stuff.
Like, so is...
We really trip on, you know, the all of the pop culture references of the 90s from all of our cinema. So
Okay.
It is almost part of our like daily parlance. Like everybody knows the reference point. It's kind of made it into the language now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me more. What do Mallus talk about to each other? Is it offensive? If I
Not
say
at all.
Mallu?
Not
Oh,
at all. No. I mean, some find it offensive, but I'm like, it's okay.
Sorry. No, go on.
But I've realized that, you know, whenever we do catch up, you meet a Malayali for the first time, the first thing we both look at each other and say, where are you from back home? Like we say Natlavdia, you know. Now it's almost become a joke. You know, as soon as you say that, we almost say as a joke, hey, Natlavdia, because
Hey, I spotted you.
because no, that's the we know that's the next question coming. As soon, oh, you're Malayali, okay. Then where are you from back home? That's a typical like icebreaker starter. But generally, I feel like movies are always discussed, or something about the state maybe, or like, and also like it's not like Kerala's one big city, right? It's one big like it's all these towns that are almost along this great road from north to south, and each of us have a different dialect. Each of us have a different accent. Each of us have a different way of maybe preparing similar dishes. So there are things that we are discovering about each other, or like when it's not like two people from Kerala speak the same kind of Malayalam. So it's lovely in that sense. Like there is stuff to discover and learn and enjoy about each other. You know, like I like the way he speaks. Sports, of course, yeah.
What sport?
I think football is huge.
Okay.
In Kerala, cricket. I'm saying Kerala. I would even go as far as say like I think it's bigger than cricket in Kerala.
Yeah. Just saying,
Especially like Malabar, like North Kerala, sevens football is huge.
what football is followed? Like, is it local football? Is it international? Just
International,
as
everything. Like during the World Cup, it's like they thanked all the countries and Kerala. Like I think they thought Kerala is a country
Right?
because so much love came from there. So much of those videos really spread. You know.
It's a lot of EPL.
Yeah, EPL. I think they just watch everything. Now I'm saying like when now locally they play sevens football, and they have local tournaments and stuff, and to the point that they bring in players from Africa and all that within their own little budgets. Like, you know, their clubs, they pool in money. They'll get in players from elsewhere, and so I didn't grow up around that, you know. So when I was shooting in North Kerala, it was insane. It was like every house was painted. You know, there's I mean, kids are playing everywhere, but like they're all wearing the jerseys or like, but you could just see the town taking whichever color of whichever side they're supporting. It's amazing. Yeah.
What should the rest of India know about Kerala? Like what do you think is some misconception that people have? Or something you'd like to change the perception of?
What is a misconception?
Not everyone's good at maths.
Yeah, I'm sure there's many of us will agree that we're probably bad at math. But I think there's my favorite things about Kerala. Also because I always kind of looked at it with a nostalgic eye because I moved away when I was 7.
Fair.
And it was always Kerala's where I'd go for my summer vacations, and when my mom and dad would live, both my grandparents lived in 2 different parts of the state, not very far apart, but even their cultures are different. So even if it's the same dishes, if it's seafood, like the prawns in my mom's house would be cooked differently, and my dad's house would be cooked differently.
There's crazy food in Kerala.
There's crazy food in Kerala.
I will vouch
so
for
like
this.
you like Goan food, you like Sri Lankan food. Kerala is right in the middle.
Yeah. Some of the best food I've had in
Some
in
of
the
the
country.
best, yeah. So I that is something that, I mean, I don't know if it's a misconception, people don't know about it, but if you go there is so much to discover food-wise. And you can go all around the state. My mouth's watering talking about it. And
What's your favorite Malayali dish?
I definitely think... so my side of, my part of like Kochi and stuff has a lot of... how do I explain it? Like you have to kind of see, like hoppers and string hoppers and stuff
it's like
that.
appam.
So, appam and all, And
Yeah.
then we have something called patri. Patri is almost like a rice chapati. Very thin. You literally can eat like 2-3 at a time. And then like coconut milk is a big part of our meals. And some great non-veg curries, either mutton or chicken or prawns or whatever. And my house is a feast. And my mother strongly believes that anything she feeds me, I can't put on weight. It can't affect my fitness. So every time I come back home after a long break or sked or whatever, it is like this massive feast. And she's like, I've made all your favorites. I'm like, Ma, I'm an actor, I'm on diet, it'll show my face now. She's like, no, I made it. You won't get fat. Don't worry, I didn't put oil on it. It's fine. But the food is insane. As in, my friends have always had this doubt. Like, dude, how do you people in your house, like, how do you guys stay thin? It makes no sense.
Yeah, I second that thought. I've been to Kochi, seen those Chinese fishing nets.
Oh my God, yeah. Isn't that beautiful? It's like
gorgeous.
And it's so unique to there.
You get the whole God's own country vibe only when you actually visit. This is not a Kerala tourism please. We're just talking. We've forgotten the mics are there.
No, but you want to go up to the hills, you go to Munnar or like the backwaters and the beach and everything is there. So I think we all are also quite aware of how blessed we are.
You're a very calm guy, dude. I'm someone who's diagnosed with ADHD, so I have intrusive thoughts.
Oh, really?
Sometimes when I'm doing a podcast with people, I visualize a train coming and running both of us over and all. So that's the curse of mine, which is why all these random questions are being thrown at you.
Wow, okay. But I think experienced that once or twice. It's like
What?
you're sitting around, you randomly, like I think when I was promoting yesterday, I told this to Adarsh. She was sitting next to me. I said, Adarsh, do you have... Because there's 4 of us talking, so if you're not being asked a question, when you're sitting there, sometimes you drift off, right? So I'm sitting thinking, I'm like, what would it be like if I just like keeled over and collapsed, like now, or suddenly like I threw up or something? Wouldn't that be really weird? Okay, so after the thing, so I'm looking at Adarsh, like, Adarsh, do you get these kind of thoughts? And he literally turned to me thinking it's something very relatable that I'm going to ask him. He's like, no, bro, that's all you. He's like, that's all you. None of us get thoughts like this.
So even you have intrusive thoughts.
I don't think when I'm sitting there like randomly, like maybe I'm entertaining myself. Like I'm thinking of situations which would just be bizarre or absurd.
I guess as artists, we get to be kids for the rest of our lives in a way.
Yeah.
So it keeps your brain also kind of like a kid's brain.
I think so. And there's fun in that, right? Like,
I think that's why the ladies also love you. Because your inner child is very alive, dude.
Maybe.
Why do you think like you're such a big... I've asked you this already. But genuinely, why do you think you have such a big female fan following other than the romantic films and the calm demeanor?
See, I think this whole major female fan following discussion's been happening maybe post OK Kanmani or now Sita Ramam and stuff. But otherwise, I have a solid like boy fan following in Kerala. Like the boys will take it very personally if you keep saying
Sorry, bro. Sorry,
because
Macha.
they're the ones who are there and like in every which way. Like they create the big posters and they are out there watching all the films and they will come and wait for me outside my house, or like if I'm out for a drive, they're like, for like riding alongside me and stuff. So there's a crazy connect with them also. But having said that, I think there is people probably know that I am who I am. Like this is how I am actually. So I think in that there's a connect. I'm not I don't think they see me as some untouchable, some crazy, unachievable, like I'm sitting in some mountain. I feel like when I'm on screen, I think the connect with the audience is that they feel like they can touch me.
Okay.
I think that's just because I've always been real. I think
people are very aware that you're married.
Yeah.
But have you still had any weird fan interaction where
I say a lot of the times they kind of see us as a unit. It's very sweet. Like they'll. I've had weird interactions with like slightly maybe older, not aunties but like women.
Okay.
Who, if I'm just taking a picture, they like sneak a peck on my cheek or something. Like the really cool, fashionable one. And I'm like, not very appropriate, but whatever. I'll take. But it's sweet. Like, it comes, I think, from a lot of.
How do you feel when someone just lands a peck on your cheek?
Sometimes it catches you by surprise, right? You're just like, and you're just posing for a picture. So I'm not even looking there. I'm posing for this picture. Tuck, it happens.
Anyone's grabbed your ass or anything?
Yes. Again, an older lady. I don't know why. And it was very awkward, very bizarre.
Yeah.
Like I was in pain. And it wasn't like that kind of a grab. I don't know what. And she was like way older, right?
She dug her fingers in.
Yeah, like it's like this. And I don't know what it meant. And we're on stage and there's like a lot of people and we're all standing there. And I was like, oh, auntie, please come and stand. So I've held her. A lot of the times people don't know where to keep their hands. Like a lot of the times sometimes it's just on your behind. But this, it was like that. And I was like, and in pictures I'm trying to smile, like why is this happening? And I don't know how to get out of it. It was bizarre. Oh my God, I completely forgot about this.
Yeah, I have been in some situations where hands are placed in wrong places.
Isn't there?
And you don't know how to react.
Like in pictures, right?
Your body almost freezes. I can't change my expression now for this photo you're taking. So why? And the person who will be taking the photo will also take that little extra 3 seconds. So the hand is nicely placed on your ass for some time.
And you don't understand why. There's so much of your back.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, what is the why?
I now do it to some friends of mine just as a joke. I'll be like, eh. So I'm like, this is what I go through. And like, what are you doing? Like, imagine this. Now explain to me why people do this. But there's no answer. I don't know what it is.
I think when brotherhood crosses a certain threshold, the lines of heterosexuality get a little
blurred. Yeah.
Bros relate
fully.
I think you are being pretty sexualized. I think
only these 1 or 2 incidents, but yeah.
I can't imagine what famous women go through, but all the famous men I know, and I'm even talking about like Instagram creators and everything, everyone has had some kind of a sexualizing experience. I don't know why.
Possibly. But yeah, this is, I think, something I can remember max. Like this the pain that I felt. I was like, what is going on?
Do you think people like the fact that you're married, or do you think it pisses people off?
I honestly don't think people are that invested. They're not like, oh, like, I mean, see, even when your favorite actress or like, someone you find really attractive or hot or something gets married, like, what is upsetting you? Like, what, did you think you had a chance? No, you don't have a chance. Like, it's not going to happen. You're not going to meet this person. But I think people just like to say this, like, and it's sweet. Like, they enjoy, like sometimes like I'll be watching like a YouTube review or something. I want to it's too much romance in this. I don't like how he's getting so close to that woman. And I'm like, what? But it is sweet. I think people enjoy that, right? Like where you feel like this person belongs to you in some way, and that is also there. There is ownership. A lot of the times, viewers have a certain ownership, which is why sometimes they get upset. If like they want a picture and you feel like you're looking like a mess or something. You're like, it's not. And then, but why? Why can't you take a picture? Because suddenly you do belong to them in some way, as actors or I think there is a sort of sense of weird ownership that people have. And I think all this comes from that.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
How old were you when you got married?
28. Was that 28? Yeah, 28.
Right age for a guy?
Weirdly, all the men in my family have somewhere been around there. And it was good. I mean, I wish I'd maybe been working a little before for some time. Just kind of earning for myself and doing things on a whim. Going on a solo trip or things like which I can't do now. Or I'll think 100 times because my time's so limited. I'm always like, I should try and do the holiday with my wife and daughter because they don't get time with me. And so some of those things I wish I'd done. Maybe if I had that kind of money to spend, go to some concert in Europe or something like, that 3-day, 4-day thing, just go for the thing and come back.
But your girl was with you throughout your rise then. That's the flip side.
Yeah, I guess.
That's a dream for a lot of dudes, just saying. Every guy dreams of marrying the girl who's with him when he's a nobody.
True.
And then with him at the top as well.
No, absolutely. Yeah, sorry. I didn't get what you're saying initially. But she did see me when I had no clue. I just told her, like, when we met, I was like, I want to at least act in one film and direct one film. These two things are like my bucket list. Even if it's one film. I want to act just know, like, if I can. And I want to direct because I want to create something. I want to tell something. That's all I know. And I don't think she fully understood any of this. Like, her family has zero exposure to the industry or even a lot of regional cinema. They're like Urdu speaking, so they probably know more of Hindi cinema than regional cinema. But she's seen this every day, and even when it's been growing, even when it's been bad days, and she's seen all of it. And I think she balances me in that sense.
It answers my question about why you're so happy, bro. Little bit.
No, but you need that grounding, I think. So if ever I act a little bratty, she has the sort of freedom to tell me that, I understand, like, things are going well and you're now the star, but calm down.
That's the blessing.
That's the blessing. And the same school friends have that, with me. Like, they'll never treat me. There's no separate lane for me. There's nothing. There's no extra privilege. They don't even look at me with a different lens. We still have the same conversations, we joke about the same things. Or, when we get together, it's none of us are really even talking shop. Nobody's discussing work. And I love that.
I'm not trying to be intrusive with you at all. So if you feel like not answering, don't, bro. But I would actually like to know about your marriage just from a brotherly perspective. Because it's a phase I know I'm going to be heading into myself. So I want to know how your marriage evolved because I believe it was an arranged marriage.
Ish.
That's what Wikipedia says.
So I've told this marriage story a lot. But I mean, we were both from the same school. She was 5-6 years my junior. And around this 26, 27, I wasn't seeing anyone at that time. And I started getting these rishtas and stuff. My mom was kind of like, maybe it's time for you to settle down. I'm getting these rishtas. Do you want to explore? And I said, I don't know if I like that process. And randomly I started bumping into my wife, who I've never seen out in Chennai till then, ever. Like, she's not very social. I was like, where do these kids hang out? I've never seen them. But a lot of people kept telling me about her. They're like, you remember those, Amal from school, your junior, and, why aren't you both meeting? Like, we think there's definitely something there. Like, it could be a possible chemistry or whatever. So when I started seeing her out, and I think I saw her out 3 times in a week. And I have this weird thing with 3, sometimes there are movies that come to me and I say no to it, and then it comes back, and again I say no to it. And if it comes back like some 3-4 times like that, I'm like, maybe there's something I'm not seeing. Maybe these people are seeing me in it. Maybe I should do it. So I was like, okay, I've never seen her out, and suddenly I'm seeing her out so often. Maybe it's a sign. Maybe I should reach out. So I very 2000s, that era, Facebook messaged her saying, hi, I don't know if you remember me from school, and I'm getting all these rishtas, and I'm sure you're also going through that in your house. And if you're not seeing anyone or whatever, and if you want to just grab a cup of coffee, let's at least see if we get along. And if it's terrible, you would have just met a senior from school for coffee and that's it. So she didn't reply for a couple of days, and I was like, like, did I do something wrong? Did I cross the line with somebody I don't know? And which is very sweet. She replied, she's like, no, yeah, no, I'd be open for it. Sure, let's meet, sort of thing. So I guess we both kind of kept the parents in the loop, being like, we're gonna meet and then see if there's something there, sort of thing.
How did you know that this girl is your wife?
I don't know. I think up until then, anyone I dated or I met or knew, I could see them maybe with my friends or when we're all hanging out or socialize or whatever. I never saw any of them at home. I couldn't visualize some, because I would always think of my family, my extended family, everything, because we're so close knit and there's so much of that bonding that we have. And somehow, when I saw her, I was like, I just see her there, something.
You can't articulate it exactly.
I
but
can't
it just
articulate.
felt right.
I just feel like I could see her as a part of my world, as a part of my family, which I'd never seen with anybody else.
And how does the relationship evolve over time? The longest I've dated someone is 3.5, 4 years. So I don't.
Yeah. Up until then, the same. But also, she was very young when we got married. She was only 23 or something. So she's grown up over time, and it evolves in the sense. See, also it was my 30s was essentially me having met someone, me having taken this giant leap into this career, and then trying to make that, and kind of find each other. And literally, I came back from my honeymoon and I went straight to shoot. My second film started, and they waited only for my wedding to get done. So we barely had a courtship. We met and we were married 6 months later. And there's only so much I think our families allowed us to really travel. Or it's not like we could take some holiday together and stuff. So it was very meeting for coffee or going for a movie, things like that. So we got married and instantly, that's when we would have the freedom to do anything we want. But that's exactly when I started my career. So in that sense, every little chance we got to hang together or spend time together, it meant a lot, and I think we made the most of it. So it's always been long distance, my entire marriage, I think. And that works both ways, as in it takes effort, but you also start to value the little things, right? Even if you're just home and chilling with a movie playing or doing nothing, but you value that. I don't get to do it because I'm always living out of a suitcase and I'm in some hotel somewhere. So I don't know what we'd be like if I had some 9-to-5 job and I was always at home. Maybe I would have driven her insane. But I think because I'm always coming and going.
They say that every successful relationship contains one normal person and one crazy person. Is that
I'm
true?
the crazy in this.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Bro, you're such a good boy.
So imagine her, I still like to go out a lot. I love people around, and not the general crowds or anything, but my same friends, left to me, I would want them around all the time. I always want to go out with them. I always want them coming home. I want my house to be full of people. And she's not that, it's not like she's antisocial, but she likes to turn in early. There's that thing, there'll be one person who sleeps at 10 and one person wants to step out at 10 and then they get married. So we're like that.
It averages out. If you could go back and tell that 28-year-old version of yourself something about relationships or about marriage, what would you tell that 28-year-old version?
It's not just the wedding, right? A lot of people, when they say, I want to get married, I'm looking to settle down, are always thinking of just the wedding. It's in the movies, it's wedding, end of movie, happily ever after. And but what marriage is definitely companionship. Is definitely having that one. There was a line of film. Have you seen Shall We Dance? Watch that film. It's a good film.
Okay.
So Susan Sarandon says this line where she's like, do you know why we get married or we have a partner? Is so there is someone with you to witness your everydays. Like every little thing that happens in your day, it shouldn't go unnoticed. Someone should witness it. It can be something as silly as, what did you eat for lunch? Or I sprained my toe today. I stubbed my toe today. Or something, the most trivial of things that happen to you. You're not sharing that every day with your parents or your kids or anything. But I think whoever is your partner on this ride called life is the only witness to your everyday.
Have you cried in front of your wife?
Yeah, how many times? Like the big moments, right? Like the big, like whenever I get emotional every time a film exceeds my expectation.
Why, bro?
I don't know. I think because I put in so much, and maybe I had so much self-doubt, if I'll make it as an actor, or if I'll make it as there's always something that you can't attain. Somebody will say but you don't have this, but you don't have that. You don't have some 100 crore film. You don't have some 50 crore film, something, It's not like I chase numbers, but...
You're talking about a human occurrence, dude. It's then
No, I know.
throughout life.
No, so I'm saying, so my point, I don't even understand why I get emotional, but like, so, and you hear a script and you see a film in your head. A lot of the times filmmakers don't see the same film. That's where there's a mismatch. Like sometimes people are like, why did you choose this film? And I'm like, I saw it differently in my head. Maybe he saw it differently. And sometimes it matches. And that's a great thing. But sometimes it goes beyond that. That I find like,
Destiny was at play here.
I don't know. I'm like, it's so overwhelming for me. I'm like, oh my God, I only dreamt this much for this film. I thought it would be this great, but it is that great. Freaking God, So those moments for me on that release day when I see this joy and stuff, like I've broken down out of joy, just like a happy something, but you feel like you need to like let it out.
Ever out of sadness?
No, it wasn't out of. I mean, sadness obviously, like if there's some loss in the family or something like that, but not for anything else. But usually it's these things, like when I got my first state award, like and it's not like some happy tear thing, but it's like, I literally like break down, which I think it's good. I mean, I think it's healthy, like it should come out. But she's witnessed all of that.
You're a blessed guy.
Yeah, I do feel blessed when that happens.
A lot of the people who sit in that seat in front of me are very blessed, and there's some people who are just holding that extra 10% of blessings. And I say this very like genuinely, man. I'm not just saying that.
Thank you.
Like you can tell a blessed person when you hear them speak and when you hear about their life and how humble they still are despite the success. Like, you're constantly crediting it to not yourself. There is still self-doubt, which, sometimes a small amount of
but
that
you
is...
need it, no? Like just to push yourself more. Like, I don't know if I was supremely confident. I mean, I'm always a little jealous of people who are so confident. But I think it's my self-doubt or like fear of not doing justice to a role or a film. That stuff drives me a lot.
What I feel respect towards you for is this whole family angle. In just the world of glamour, I don't think the family angle is celebrated as much as you seem to be celebrating it. As in what I've gotten to know about
Right.
you, the guy in you. Like I always knew about the brand DQ, but
Right.
when I'm talking to you, I see how much it's in your heart, and that's what I also really aspire to have in life, honestly, man. So when you see an older guy who's had a flourishing career and values like family life and is a good dad, good husband, I think those are goals for a lot of guys who are entering their 30s.
Yep.
So thank you, brother.
You're most welcome, brother. But I mean, it's interesting because I like when you're speaking to me with that perspective where it's almost like brotherly advice I'm giving. I never thought I would ever do that, so that's great.
You never thought you'd do what?
As in, be in a place to give a younger brother advice. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was always the younger kid. I was an elder sibling. So I never thought like I would, like, I know there are friends of mine or younger friends of mine who do seek my thoughts or my advice on things, or see me as a mentor. And I've never fully understood it. I'm like, I'm only still figuring things out. I'm still learning. I don't know if I have it in me to mentor anybody, but maybe there is a perspective of me that I'm not seeing. But it is a nice feeling. So yeah, thank you for that.
The perspective is that I feel 80s born guys especially mostly only chase career.
Right.
90s born guys mostly only chase career even more. So it's nice to see an 80s born guy balance out his life, because I see a lot of my 80s born brothers with troubled personal lives and all. And you're a very stable dude and it reflects on your face. So, and I mean, like, also through conversation and all that. But this is goals, dude. Like, I think when I was 22, my goals were to have a stable career. That's it. 25, it's about money and like magnanimity. And now that I'm 30, it's about what you have. Stable family life.
I mean, with all the money you've earned, I think it's great initially, right? You buy all the things you thought you couldn't buy. But I feel like beyond a point, you're only buying multiples of the same thing. Right? You have one car, you have three. You have one house, you have two. You have one watch, you have 10 watches. So I think the best way to spend your money is on experiences, on travel and all of that. And I think but as I mean, speaking for boys, because we're boys and we can understand, I think it is important for us to prove this to ourselves that, hey, I made it. Hey, I made this money that I was chasing or whatever. And I bought these things that I wanted to buy. And once you get there, and you're fine, you're done. And I see this in my dad. I see these in senior actors. After a point, they're done buying. They're like, it's okay. No, I don't care. I know I can, so it's fine.
So I think we're almost at the end of this episode.
This has been fun. It's been, I mean, you've got me to think and even like kind of look back on my life a lot, which is great.
Yeah, I think people watch these pieces with famous humans to read between the lines. They're studying your silences. They're studying where you hesitate with an answer, etc. That's where you get to actually see the person's character.
Yeah.
That's what people connect with now. The raw form of whoever's sitting in that seat, man.
Right.
And how's it been for you?
I mean, it's different from anything else, I think. It's easy to connect with you. Like you said, I mean, I like your vibe. I like your energy. And I always thought I was a good listener, but you're clearly a very good listener.
You know why I'm a good listener?
Why?
Because this show started 4 years ago. And right before that, I had a bad breakup.
Right. And
one of the reasons she gave me is, and you're not even a good listener. So I was like, really? I'm going to turn it into a career.
So now she can never say that again.
All I'll say is, here we are. Man, DQ, brother, thank you. I really appreciate you. I have a strong gut feeling this is not the last time we'll ever have a conversation.
Awesome. So, I look forward to it.
Yeah.
And I hope it's in different intervals where, like maybe I'm going into another decade or you're going, and we have a little more experience to discuss.
We actually had scheduled you for tomorrow again. No, I'm messing around, bro. I'm messing around. Gonna let you grow along your organic path. Gonna let you accumulate all those experiences, keep evolving. You're a very evolving oriented human, and that's not something I take for granted, because again, it's not easy to live the kind of life you're living, but on the surface it looks like it is pretty easy for you, and that says a lot about your character, man. Right. So I appreciate you. I'm glad I met you. That positive energy rubbed off. I just wish you all the best, brother.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I will leave it to the universe and all the energies to make this happen again.
Thank you, Ranveer.
Thank you.
Great. Awesome. Thank you.
That was the episode for today. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're a long-time listener of TRS, tell me what you thought of this particular episode. I love doing really chilled out conversations like this once in a while. If you're a new listener of the show, make sure you check out our entire library of all our film-oriented podcasts. We'll link them down below. Keep supporting TRS. Ranveer and the team will be back very soon.